Video. Hey, and welcome to the next map. Alright, let's get started. Oop, wrong file. So this is the map we just finished making, and we're going to start on a new one. And usually what I do at this point is either make all of these different layers invisible, or rotate, or just start moving them around. In this case, we're going to start at the bottom again and start moving things around. So we're just going to take our stone and figure out a different path. I think we're going to make it have a bit of a T-crossing, but at a diagonal. So I'll actually need to duplicate these layers just enough to have the proper amount of puzzle pieces. And one of the reasons why I keep them all separate versus like the trees where I'll group them together is it makes it easier for it to feel organic if I have to move them all around. And I guess the other quality that's nice about this is that they're such a unique kind of triangle piece that you can rotate them and it always seems different, seems organic, doesn't seem like the same square next to each other over and over. And I put a fade, I made them kind of halfway invisible around the edge so that they'd blend into each other in a way that you just really even couldn't recognize. Right. Need, say, 3 more, so let's just duplicate this one up. Rotate that one a little bit. There we go. See what I mean by it's like a bit of a triangle shape? Yeah. With curves. Because triangles have curves, of course. Don't ask me. I'm an artist, not a mathematician. Alright. That nice T-crossing, but it's at an angle. I don't think I've done that path shape at all. So, here's a new one. Now, to change to the trees. First, let's work on those ivies. We don't want to leave the ivy in the same place every time, so we're going to move that blue ivy up here. We're going to rotate the purple ivy a lot. There we go. So we're not going to have very much ivy down here, but a lot of heavy ivy up here, which makes sense, because if this path, say, goes off to a cottage or something, it would be more gardened over here and more wild over here, which could be heavy, could be light, either way, but I like it. We're going to rotate our stones and our vines and roots and just kind of line the edge of the path here. Same with this, but we're just going to move it up. There we go. Already different than the last map. But the thing the players pay attention to are the trees that stand out the most. As long as you move those, you can honestly leave a lot of the background around and they just don't notice. But, what do we want to work with? Rocks. Okay, rocks. The rocks are coming over here. Because the way I'm thinking about these rocks is it's debris that's been moved from the road, or it was spare rocks that were rejected or kicked up by horses, or a part of the natural forest. So, a little more angled. Right there. That looks good. Rocks right along the side of the road. Alright, we're on to the purple. Let's bring the purple down here. I don't think we did that really so much. Alright. It's a nice amount of purple, and let's make the other 2 uses of it invisible. A little bit of purple. We'll have a bit of a clearing right here where this tree cluster is. We're going to keep the trees along here, but change them out. Maybe have one big tree here. We got to get rid of these trees that are now on our new path. And At this point, it's just a lot of moving things around so they're not the same as the last time. You can rotate them, you can turn certain layers on and off, you can completely just change their positioning. Just gotta play around with it, see what looks and feels right. Aqua trees. What are we gonna do with you? Just at the corner so we only see that one. Move this purple tree because it was right there last time. Even if we don't move it very far, it looks suddenly rather different. Same with this one. Didn't move very far, but it's different. Leave that there, but we're going to duplicate a layer. And we're going to throw a few of them up here too. Let's rotate that though. There we go. Nice little green line of bushes right there. Alrighty. Alright, here's our big beautiful tree. We had it in this corner last time, so we don't want it in this corner this time. I mean, we could shove it off to the side here, and I kind of like that, but let's figure out where we might also be able to put it instead. Like right there looks good. So since we have two places we kind of want it, let's just duplicate it. And we're going to shove it off camera over there. So we got a hint of it up here and a hint of it down there. Move that wine tree over a little. Our dead trees, they also kind of stand out, so we definitely have to move them. Don't have to move them very far. In fact, I'm barely moving that one at all, but it's in a different place. Very important. I want more of these trees this time. So we're going to rotate that and put it right, a little more rotation. There we go. Right there. We've got that little bit of an opening and clearing. Looks like there could be a path here. And we're done. Honestly, that's it. But I want to put something in this, like a fallen over log or a gravestone. Ooh, a gravestone, yeah. Yeah, we're going to go with a gravestone. I don't have one in the files here, so give me just a moment. I have it set up so you guys won't be able to see my library when I open it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So File, Open in Place, and then I'm looking at a screen you guys can't see. One moment. I just got to find where it's at. I think I put it in the Buildings file. Awkward. Ooh. Nope, not using that. Or that. Let's find the broken gravestone. Ooh, 'cause that won't look creepy at all for our nice creepy woods. So here's our broken gravestone, and we're just gonna figure out what size we want it, 'cause gravestones are usually what? The width of a person standing, right? So we've already established in a previous video that that is 50 pixels wide. So that should do. And you're gonna say, oh, that's really tiny, but here's our player. And if we zoom in, that looks about like the size you'd find a gravestone if a person was standing in front of it, you know? We could put a couple of graves across here, I suppose. Maybe even little mounds of dirt in front of them if we wanted, but I think I think we're just going to... There you go. Perfect. We're just going to have one grave right there. Maybe a grave with an offering plate next to it or something. Ooh, I know just the thing. It's called a water basin. Why water, you say? Because water is the blood of life. Yeah. Water basin. So the water basin will honestly catch people's attention, and then we're going to put a couple of graves through here. So we'll put this one here. And then let's open another one. Open in place. I think I have one that's a vertical view from above that's like of a cross. Here we go. Perfect. And everything always loads in this corner, so just grab that correct tool, drag it over here. Use this to shift the view since we're zoomed in. And shrink it down to that, and then we're going to rotate it a little. Not much. And we're going to switch their places, I think. Yeah, that looks right. Turn our player off so it doesn't print on our map, and we've got a shadow on the water basin, but no shadow on these two guys. So we're going all the way down here to the bottom. You the bottom. This is our shadow layer. Everything's dark, everything's not dark. We're going to make everything dark, and then we're going to go over to our lasso tools, but our polygon one. We're just going to imagine if we were at the same angle as the shadow on our water basin, what would our shadows look like for these things? And that's going to be our first shadow. And the way we do this is very simple. We inverse it, meaning that the area around that shadow is selected. Now go to our eraser tool. And we check our settings, because, oh, yeah, I totally need to put that at the right settings, because, you know, that would help if I had a brain. Alright, it's the brush. Why is it not erasing? Occupancy, flow, brush, mode. I feel like something's not... we'll double up on the shadow in that area. See, it's clearly erasing, but I guess it's just a dark spot, but we will double it up so it's the same occupancy there. That's easy enough to do. So we've definitely erased around that, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make a shadow. So back to the tool we want. We got to deselect the area. There we go. This one we're just gonna make a weird kind of coffin-y shape, because that works really well for gravestones. Whether it's true or not, it gives you this kind of creepy vibe. Again, inverse. But at this point we can just erase a little bit more. Like that. Ooh. Nice sharp line, finally. We gotta be careful not to go where our cross had been before, but we want to go around that same area. And here's why. Before we just mass delete the rest of the shadow, we are going to select the area in which both of our shadows are. And then we're going to inverse it and delete everything. Boom! Okay, now you're like, oh, I can't see the shadow, you made it all. That's fine. Just watch this. If you duplicate the layer, that made that darker, didn't make that darker. Oh, because the ivy, it is underneath the ivy. So we need to make sure that this shadow, or I should say combined shadow, is above the ivy. Now that we have our right thickness, we're going to merge down. Oh, I'm dumb. Whoops. I did not save my shadow layer. I will import it from another saved file because I don't remember what setting I made to use it. It was like 30% occupancy or something. Merge down. Nice shadow. Move the shadow above the two ivies. Boom. Okay. Occupancy is now too dark and we see we have some scraps we gotta get rid of. That's fine. Now we just change the occupancy to say 80%. A little lighter than that would be nice. Although that does almost match the water basin. Let's go with 75. Not to be mistaken with 750. Did that mistake. Then it turns like a negative camera kind of colors. Alright. That looks good to me. Where's our eraser? There it is. That's a little bit big. Let's bring it down. We're just gonna get the scraps. Oh, it's still inversed, so let's inverse it again. Boom. Now we can work inside of there. I'm on the wrong layer. It's a good thing I was in an area that didn't exist. Alright. Correct layer. Erasing the scraps. There we go. Alright. A little bit of a shadow. Kind of curve those edges. Because shadows are never this perfect shape. They're always kind of a little wonky. But I think that works. I think that's our special element for this particular map. So we can zoom on out. Look at it as a whole. Decide that that's ready to be saved. And save it as a JPEG. Because that's what our format is. Alrighty. And now we're ready for the next map. So I'm going to end this video here. And hope you guys enjoyed. Or will enjoy. I'll have these uploaded on my YouTube and posted on Facebook soon enough. Thank you very much for joining me today. And see you in the next one. And stay creative.